Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. As explained in my last two videos, my family and I are currently in Oahu. The last time I talked to you, I was in Maui, and the time before that, I was in Kona. But anyway, we are currently in Hawaii, and as I explained also in my last two videos, I actually don't know much about the Hawaiian independence movement, actually, and I'm willing to learn more information. As per usual, I don't really have any malice intent when it comes to being a tourist in Hawaii and its relation to colonialism, but I am very much anti-colonialism, which is why I wanted to give a preface in each of these videos before I get into the books or the b-roll or anything like that. And I've clearly given this a lot of thought, but again, I'm willing to learn new information and new resources, so please educate me. I think that there's a stereotype when it comes to people being ignorant where other people shame them for being ignorant, because we live in an era, especially in America, where information is so accessible and you can learn anything about anything at any time. However, with that, you can't expect everybody to know everything about everything all the time either, if that makes any sense. But anyway, all that to say, yeah, we're in Hawaii right now. It's been so much fun so far. This is probably my last video that I'm going to film here. The food is pretty good. The people are so nice. It's been a fun time. But anyway, I'm currently reading The Loudest Silence, which is a YA contemporary following two queer disabled teenagers who bond, I think, over music. I don't know, I'm assuming that from the cover. I'm hoping to finish my July TBR today, since it is the last day of July and I only have 2 books on my TBR that I haven't read yet. This one and 18 Roses. But anyway, this book, like I said, is a YA contemporary following 2 disabled queer main characters, one of which identifies as aloe-ace, if I'm not mistaken, and the other one as bisexual. I love platonic duos. I think that there should be more platonic friendship-driven stories, which is why Radio Silence is one of my favorite books ever. It's so good. When I was reading in high school, I always found it very hard to find books that were friendship-driven in YA especially, because more often than not, the main friendship would always be a main girl main character and then her guy gay best friend, which first of all felt very stereotypical, and second of all, it kind of annoyed me that there weren't any duos where their best friend was within the group of people that they liked to date, but they didn't date each other, if that makes any sense. I found that to be unrealistic, because it's perpetuating a stereotype that everyone is your type, which isn't true, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if straight people don't fall in love with every single person that they're attracted to in the realm of it, then neither do gay people, and we all know that. So I didn't understand why there weren't any, for example, platonic duo friendships between a guy and a girl where their friendship didn't turn romantic. And I was just why aren't there any? But anyway, all that to say, I'm enjoying this book so far, and I'm really excited to continue it because, like I said, it's on my July TBR and I have really high expectations for it. Hi people, so a reading update. First of all, I finished The Loudest Silence, and I honestly rated it 3 stars for 2 main reasons. First of all, the story itself has much more lower stakes than I was expecting. I don't think that sentence was really grammatically correct, but basically, I think I was expecting a much more high stakes type of story, and I'm not sure exactly why. But anyway, the story was so lighthearted, super happy, super neat, everything had a happy ending type of book, which, I enjoy sometimes, but since I wasn't expecting it, it was not, a happy surprise, if that makes any sense. Second of all, I kind of felt like Hayden's sexualities were conflated together. I've heard prior to this book from the author that he identifies as aloe-ace, but I felt like his aromantic sexuality wasn't as explicit as his asexual sexuality, and sometimes, more often than not, those two sexualities all conflated oftentimes in media, and I just felt like this book was another example of that. However, this story did feel queer normative in general, like Casey's bisexuality as well as the other gay side characters felt very normalized and well done, if that makes any sense. But like overall, like the disability representation was great. The characters themselves are well developed and distinct. The romance was kind of rushed, and I don't really like see their chemistry. But the friendship, like the main friendship between Hayden and Casey, was well done, and I enjoyed it. The music elements were good. Like, this book is good and neat, and I rated it 3 stars. And anyway, I'm currently reading 18 Roses, which is a YA contemporary following a Filipina main character, and she's basically preparing for her debut, which is kind of like a quince, except in Filipino culture, she's like coming of age, like adult, you know what I mean? But she doesn't want to do it. She like does not want to do it at all. I'm halfway through this book, honestly, which means this book is much shorter than I was expecting it to be. I'm enjoying the writing so far. It's very like, it feels very authentic, and it kind of reminds me of the way I think, if that makes any sense. But like the characters are well done. Since it's shorter than I was expecting, I now have low expectations for it, if that makes any sense. Maybe like the book is just like, I don't know. Sometimes when I critique a book for being too short, I wonder if it's maybe like me. Maybe I'm the problem, and maybe I just read too fast. You know what I mean? But I will be Googling the page length of this book after I finish it. So anyway, I am enjoying it so far. It's just that I thought I was going to rate it 4 stars, and there's a chance that I'm not going to do that. So yeah. Hi people, so I'm about to head to lunch, but I have a reading update for you. I finished 18 Roses, and I rated it 4 stars because I thought it was so good. It's absolutely so excellent. I love stories about like, I don't know, like unconventional main characters, especially found in women. Like, I love her personality, her emotions made so much sense, and her frustrations made so much sense, and like how she was trying to hold everything together, and like her new friendships and everything were so wholesome, and her relationship with her parents and her sister and everything was so good. The plot is so engaging. I didn't enjoy this book as much as the author's previous book, but I still really enjoyed it, and like I said, I rated it 4 stars. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to read next exactly, but I'll keep you updated. So it's been a few hours since the last time I talked to you. I think that this reading vlog is going to be mostly reading updates and less b-roll footage, just because I'm a little bit more fatigued than I was the last few days, because I am on day 2 of my period. I feel like periods are one of those like taboo subjects that people don't really talk about, but I think that we should normalize talking about them more so that we can spread awareness, especially since everyone with a uterus has one anyway. So like all genders like experience them. You know what I mean? So anyway, besides, there's nothing like truly disgusting or gross about having a period. So I don't really understand why there's a stigma surrounding never talking about it or whatever. Anyway, all that to say, I'm currently 20% through The Creepening of Dogwood House, which is a middle-grade black horror urban fantasy. I'm really enjoying it right now, if I'm being completely honest with you. It follows a young boy who's staying with his aunt and his new uncle after his mom passed away, and basically like the house that he's returning to is his mom and his aunt's childhood home, but he had never heard of it before, and there were so many like questions about his mom's past that he had no idea about before, and it's related to this house, and it's related to like, I don't know, maybe magic, maybe some horror elements. I'm so excited to continue this book. I know historically horror is not something I'm the biggest fan of, but I don't know. I'm a very picky reader, I think, because I do tend to read the same genres over and over and over again. I read by the same authors also over and over and over again. So, I don't know. With that said, like, I am excited to continue this book. I'm very intrigued by it. So, yeah, there's that. Hi people, so a reading update. I'm almost halfway through my book. I love the idea of like connecting to a lost culture, because when I was growing up, and at least now as an adult, I don't really feel connected to either my Black culture or my Asian culture. For those who don't know, I'm half Jamaican and half Vietnamese, and I just feel like the culture that I feel connected to now is so Americanized and so westernized, and it feels almost very white, if that makes any sense. I feel like I didn't really grow up in a place where I felt super connected to either side. I don't know. I just like, sometimes I don't feel like Black enough or Asian enough because I don't know enough about either side really. So I feel really behind, and I feel a lot of diaspora and everything. So I don't know. Within this book, it's really exciting so far. I'm really enjoying the world building and the characters and everything, and I love learning about like hoodoo culture and everything. Like, it's so cool and it's so fascinating and it's so awesome to just like learn about. I don't know if anything I'm saying really makes any sense, but like basically this book is really good so far. Hi people, so a reading update. I finished The Creepening of Dogwood House. I rated it 4 stars. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The setting, the house, the world building was so atmospheric and so fascinating. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The mystery and the magic were so well done. I loved the family dynamics. It was so good overall, so I rated it 4 stars. I would definitely highly recommend it. I'm currently reading Eyes Open, which is a YA historical fiction set in Flevols and also set in Portugal in 1967. And honestly, I have no idea what to expect because I have no idea what was happening in Portugal in 1967 at all. So I'm excited to learn more about this perspective, about this time period. And I've said this before, but like I love learning about like non-American historical fiction because the history that I learned in school was very westernized, very Americanized, very white oftentimes. So it's exciting to like learn about what was happening in other countries in like other time periods, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm so excited to continue this book. I don't remember if I've finished a book before by this author. I think I've DNF'd a few by them. But anyway, I'm excited to find out what will happen next. Historical fiction is so fascinating to me, and it's so necessary because history always repeats itself. And like in a time now where like, you know, all those pro-Palestine protests have been happening and everything. And remember that I am pro-Palestine, as I've said before. Anyway, I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically, historical fiction is always important and necessary to read about because history will always repeat itself in the present as well as in the future, because like the past will paint the present and the present will paint the future. And anyway, I digress. I'm excited to continue this book. Hi people, so an update. I finished Eyes Open and I thought it was so good. It was absolutely so educational and so awesome. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The flavorless format worked so well. I loved like her poetry so much. Like poetry and writing and the written word and like books and stories are so incredibly powerful, and they're so riveting, and they're so important because like storytelling is how we like pass down history, which creates culture, which creates like context, and like history is like always written by the winners, you know what I mean? And when you start to eliminate like poets and artists and writers and like journalists and stuff, like it's very intentional as to what you're doing. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyway, the characters are so well developed and so distinct. The writing is excellent. The historical context and setting was so good and so well done. Like I said earlier, I love reading historical fiction because it parallels so much to real life. And this book especially does that to current history. So remember what I said about like eliminating like journalists and stuff like that? This book reminded me of what's been happening in Gaza lately, especially with all the journalists and stuff. So with that said, please remember again that I am pro-Palestine, and I think it's so important to be pro-Palestine because the Palestinians have been fighting for so long and they deserve all support and love and safety just like anybody else. You know what I mean? So anyway, all that to say, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely highly recommend it. Hi people, so in conclusion, my period fatigue is truly kicking my ass, so I don't want to film anymore. So anyway, I feel like today's video was super productive though, because I read like 4 books, and the majority of them were really good, so we love to see it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed all of these Hawaiian videos. Like I said at the beginning, I have no malice intent with being here, and I understand that the history concerning like tourism and colonialism have a murky relationship. But anyway, yeah. So in conclusion, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the snowman emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.